The media just continues to claim something that is completely factually incorrect. They say that Tesla's sales in China are stalling, they're having problems there, there's not enough demand for Tesla's EVs, and we should be very concerned about their future in China. But interestingly, if we look at the cold hard facts, for the first 6 months of this year, Tesla's sales in China have done something that I don't think anyone really expected, especially considering the fact that the Chinese consumers are very well aware that there's a new Model Y coming, a new Model 3 is imminent. Model Y, the new version, should be out in about January or February next year. And clearly, Chinese consumers, to be honest, they're a bit more clued up than most buyers. I mean, ask the average person in Australia, in the UK and Europe, where their MG is made. I think 9 out of 10 of them won't know. Ask the average Chinese consumer, they'll probably tell you exactly which city. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. It's great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. My name's Sam Evans, and I'm the Electric Viking. Great to have your support this year. Thank you so much. Now, key to my point before, you might be thinking, no, Chinese consumers don't really know that. Well, I can tell you something. Chinese consumers will protest. They will protest en masse if a car manufacturer does something as simple as update the computer chip in a car. This is something that Western buyers will never know happened. I mean, the average Western buyer, even highly educated ones, don't even know, they've changed the chip in a certain car. That's something very rarely even talked about. But in China, they know, they find out, and they go and protest. They say, we want this new chip. This has gone into, I bought my car 6 months ago. You've just upgraded the chip. We want this new one. It's better. So they are very highly educated. Therefore, Chinese consumers would be very well aware of the fact that new Model 3 Highland is just about to go on sale. The new Model Y is within probably 6 months away. They'd probably be aware of the M3P batteries going into these cars. Going to be significantly better battery packs. And yet, Chinese sales of Tesla vehicles in China have increased by 50% this year. That is not what the media are telling us. Not at all, in fact. Have you seen CNBC say, wow, Tesla sales are surprisingly up 50% in China this year. Toyotas are down 20%. Hondas are down 40%. Nissans are down 45%. Mazdas are down 60%. I haven't seen that reporting anywhere. Strange. Anyway, let's have a look at the actual data here. For the first half of the year, Tesla sold 476,560 Chinese-made vehicles. That's including China and overseas sales. All those vehicles, though, were made in China. So 477,000 vehicles that were made in China have been delivered to customers this year. That's an increase of 61.7% from a year earlier. Now, keep in mind, Tesla's Model 3 sales have stalled because, obviously there's a new model coming, plus the production line has been paused in order to retool. So I think those numbers are pretty damn impressive when you consider that fact. Tesla's Shanghai factory exported 182,434 vehicles in the first half of the year. That's an increase of 87.77%. So 88% increase. Tesla delivered 294,105 vehicles to Chinese consumers in the first half of the year. That's an increase of 49% year over year. Really not the story the media are telling us. Now, the media keeps saying Tesla has slashed prices of its EVs in China. Slashed them. So cheap now, Tesla EVs. Well, actually, Tesla EVs are expensive in comparison to Toyota's EVs. The loosely comparable Toyota bZ4X is nearly half the price of a Tesla Model Y. There's many dealerships in China selling the bZ4X for $20,000 US. The Model Y is far more expensive than that, and it's selling at a rate of about 100 to 1 versus the bZ4X. That's not a narrative the media would let you know about either. They haven't mentioned this at all. In fact, I've scoured the interwebs, surfed the net, found nothing from the media about that fact. Fortunately, we have cnfpost.com to tell us what is really going on in China. What else do we know? Well, we know that Tesla's Shanghai plant, secrecy there is currently very high on Model 3's production floor because the production line the changes are almost complete, said a local media outlet on the 7th of July. There are prototypes of the revamped Model 3 being tested on the factory's roads over the last weekend, so over the last few days, with further refinements being made to the production line as a result, apparently. So what about sales for the month of June? Well, in June, Tesla sold 93,700 vehicles worldwide that were made in China. 19,500 of those were exported and 74,200 were delivered inside China itself. That's a decrease of 4.8% from last year when they delivered 77,938 vehicles in the same month. But it's up by 75% from May. So obviously Tesla still has their peaks and troughs, and this is one of those peaks for Tesla in China. But it's still pretty impressive when you consider the fact that consumers are well aware of the fact that new Tesla EVs are just about to be revealed. China's new energy vehicle sales in June were 665,000. That's a combination of plug-in hybrids and fully electric cars. And that's an increase of 25% year over year. And it's up 14.7% from May. EV sales were 450,000, an increase of 6% year on year, and an increase of 15.7% from May. That means Tesla's share of the NEV market, or the new energy vehicle market, was 11.2% in June. I think that's a pretty good number. What I find really interesting though is this. For all the local car brands in China, 60% of their sales in China were electric cars. 60%, right? For the legacy brands, General Motors, Ford, Volkswagen, Toyota, Nissan, Mitsubishi, all of those companies, right? Their average EV sales percentage was 3.7%, meaning 96.3% of the cars that they sold were gasoline or diesel, primarily gasoline-powered cars. By the end of this year, many of those cars won't be legally able to be sold in China. That's the truth. The new emission standards come into force at the end of this year. Now, all these automakers have been given years to actually wake up and realize that their vehicles don't comply. Those rules were meant to come into force in June of this year. The Chinese government gave these companies another 6 months to comply. They can't. It would cost them literally billions of dollars to comply with these rules. Most of these cars just won't be able to be sold. There's going to be fields of hundreds of thousands of cars that can't be sold by the end of this year. Pretty much all of them made by joint ventures with all those companies: Honda, Nissan, Mitsubishi, Ford, General Motors, etc. This is going to be a disaster for those companies. If you're invested in one of those companies, it's really worth doing your homework because China represents 1 out of every 3 cars sold worldwide. This could significantly affect whatever brand you're into, whatever brand you've invested in. And this actually could cause massive financial turmoil because many of these brands are massively over-leveraged. What does Toyota have? Nearly $200 billion in debt. Volkswagen Group, over $185 billion. A lot of them, Nissan, their debt is now rated as junk. Nissan, China is very important for Nissan. They have the Nissan Sylphy. It was the best-selling car in China last year. Will it be this year? Absolutely not. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.